Hey, Paul Mitchell here. I'm here with Tom Clift.
Hello.
And this is my choice for the new BFZ standard, Jeskai Dragons. Jeskai's been getting a lot of hype recently, particularly the Dark Jeskai Black decks that have Crackling Doom. This one forgoes the powerful Black Splash and plays dragons instead. So you've got Ojutai as just a huge finisher, very well proven in control and mid-range decks. Thunderbreak's more of an aggressive card, and Draconic Roar is kind of the payoff for having these dragons, which works really well with Soulfire Grandmaster. Against an aggressive deck, if you can keep a turn 2 Soulfire Grandmaster on the table and then roast their thing or Draconic Roar their thing, revealing, then so much damage, so much life, it's great. Another big upside of having the dragons in a Jeskai deck is that you get to play with Haven of the Spirit Dragon, which is, it's basically a man land. It's very powerful to get your spells back.
Yeah.
And, it's a big upside in playing this. Does make the mana a bit weird, but with the new Tango lands, not the Battle lands, I'll force that one, you play weird lands like Cinderglade. You've got Cinderglade and Smouldering Marsh, and I'm not playing green or black, and you've got Delta and Heath. So all your fetch lands are tri-lands, because your Polluted Delta goes and gets Smouldering Rush for red, or Prairie Stream for blue, or white. So suddenly you've got, obviously, the Mystic Monastery as a tri-land, but now all your fetch lands are tri-lands as well. But it does make sequencing your lands a little strange. Actually, I think I made a change of this. I was trying out Exquisite Firecraft, which I wanted the extra mountain for, but now I'm happy to go back to 3 Prairie Streams, because the only double red card in the deck is Thunderbreak, and you can get the second red off Haven.
So, I mean, to me, like, the Jace is self-explanatory. Jace is very good.
Yeah.
Mantis Rider, obviously, if you want to play Jeskai, you want to play Mantis Rider. It's awesome.
Yep.
The dragons are pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, and if you're playing the dragons, you want the rules.
Yep. Dig Through Time is very good. So kind of like the kind of spell package, I guess. Things like
This
the
one?
removals. Yeah.
Yeah, so Valorous Stances, I've found it's quite nice. The damage-based removal isn't great against Siege Rhino. Without Valorous Stance, the only thing that really deals with it is Roast, which is a one-of currently. And Jeskai Charm, and like allowing them to reuse their Rhinos is not...
Yeah, it's not great.
No, it's not where you want to be. So Valorous Stance is great. Also, if you're in a more controlling spot, you want to attack with your Ojutai and protect it, then giving it Indestructible is great. I have been mucking around with the numbers for the removal. It's pretty meta-dependent, so I like keeping it kind of a mix. At the moment, it's 2 Jeskai Charms, which are the most versatile.
Yeah.
And then 1 Roast and Fire Impulse as damage-based removal that works really well with the Soulfire Grandmaster. I've tried Silk Wrap, which is good if you're expecting a lot of Hangerback Walkers and Rikshasa Death Dealers and that kind of stuff. But for the most part, it's less synergistic with Soulfire and with Jace as well, because you can't flash back a Silk Wrap once you've used it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying this for now. It's definitely open to interpretation. The format's still pretty young. The Pro Tour is happening pretty much right now, so I'll be curious to see what happens there and how that influences the metagame once people... Like, the people watching the Pro Tour, that's going to warp the metagame everywhere else.
So what about the Ojutai commands?
This card's so good. So, this card does everything. I mean, read it. It does everything. Do I need to say anything else? Gaining 4 life is good when you need it. The creature spell is probably the least used option, just because keeping up full mana when they cast a relevant creature is kind of like... It's less likely to happen unless it's a really late game and you're both top decking.
Sure.
What happens most of the time is you're getting back one of your cheap drops and drawing a card. So Ojutai's Command is a 4-mana Jace that cantrips. It's a 4-mana Soulfire that cantrips. And the sweetest thing you can get back is Dragonmaster Outcast. I totally overlooked this card when it first came out. I had it at the pre-release and it was a bomb there, but I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to use it for Constructed. But, oh my god, it's so sweet to play your 6th land, so you already have 6 in play, you keep this in your hand, and you go, alright, now I'm going to play my Dragonmaster Outcast. If it survives, I just start pumping out dragons, and it's huge. And if it dies, you get to Ojutai's Command it back on their end step and take another swing at it. And if you make 1 dragon, then this is already a very good card. Because it's like a 1-mana 5/5. And if you make 2, you're
How do you lose?
Such deep trouble.
What about the sideboard? Like, obviously, that's going to shift around depending on the meta, but like, what are some of the things you've got in there?
Yeah, so Silk Wrap as I said before, it's great against Hangerback Walker. You can also bring it in if you're desperate for cheap removal. But generally against the aggro decks tend to go wide. So Radiant Flames are super strong here, and Displacement Wave, particularly against tokens.
Yeah, how is Displacement Wave strikes me as not amazing, but you found
It serves a
very good.
purpose.
Yeah.
It's good against the tokens, it wipes them all out.
Yeah.
Depending on how popular that deck is, I could see playing 1 or 0 of these.
Yeah, okay.
But it's also very good against the aristocrats, like Blisterpod sacrifice type decks.
Sure.
Because you want to keep their board in check without triggering a bunch of death triggers.
Yeah.
So I think it's been a solid performer. It's never it can stand out in certain boards.
Yeah.
But you want to be really selective with where you bring it in, because if you're just bouncing things without a really good reason to, it's not the card you want to have.
Sure.
And then early removal as well, you got Fiery Impulse and Roast. So there's all this removal depending on what your opponent's playing. And then for the more mid-rangey type decks, this is what I've got at the moment. I found Dispel to be quite good.
Yeah, what are you countering a lot of?
Well,
what are the instances you're worried about? I mean, countering
Dig Through Time.
is...
Removal you can, sure. But it's also really good, like, a lot of people playing Crackling Doom.
Yep.
A lot of people playing Dig Through Time.
Yep.
Collected Company.
For sure.
Ataka Red decks with Become Immense and Team of Battle Rage.
Totally.
So, yeah, it's definitely held its place. Dragonlord's Prerogative is pretty sweet. There's another payoff card for the Dragons. In a Control Mirror, drawing an extra 4 cards is kind of sick.
Yeah, seems good.
It's pretty good in, like, just mid-rangey battles as well. Say your opponent's on 9 life and you have, say, 1 Thunderbreak out. And you think, well, how can I stitch together a win? Or maybe your opponent thinks this is a little too far for them to kind of get reach. You go end of turn Dragon's Lord Prerogative, and you can stitch together a whole lot of things. So, I quite like this card. And Disdainful Stroke is just really good against any kind of Rhino deck. It's great against the red-green ramp decks, 5-color Bring to Light type stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, this is a good catch-all. So this is what I've been trying out. I'm still trying it out. Particularly these spots are quite flexible. I've been thinking about adding another Soulfire, but I think these are the rough numbers, and I've been testing it out. Let's test it some more.